Hello everyone, I'm Sinan Karabocuoglu and I'm an engineer at Cardstack, where we are working to make Web 3.0 usable by everyone. In this tutorial, developers will learn how to enable editor mode in your cards, also known as the right edge. The right edge is a minimal configuration way to make any page in your app editable in the browser. By the end, you will have a way for non-developers to build and create too, without writing code. So first, let me show you what we are aiming for. This is the complete version of our tutorial. As you can see, we have our editor here. You can click on the lists to view which movies are in which list, and you can actually go ahead and add some new movies. You can delete movies, just like this. You can use our quick start guys video to get up to this point. There are a few steps to it. First, let me show you what our app is looking right now. You see, you can view your movies in your lists, and then you can also view your isolated view as well. However, if you want to add any note or if you want to change anything in these cards, you need to enable the editor. And there are a few steps to enabling editing. Wrapping the card content in the edges component, including a mock login, and setting permissions for the mock user to edit. So let's start. First of all, we need to display the editor in the screen. I copied this code from our quick start tutorial, and now I'm just gonna uncomment this portion of the code where we are using the mock login helper. Essentially, mock login helper is creating a super user for just the development purposes. And when you're actually working on a project that you want to deploy, you can set the authentication through using GitHub accounts or MetaMask or anything using the grants that we are going to show you later in this tutorial. So for now, let's save this change and go. Let's go back to our application. And now the screen is going to be refreshed. All right, now you can see the edit content here. When you click on it, you are going to see this purple button here. And now you can actually see the editor on the page. If you go ahead and click onto any of the lists, you are also going to see which movies they are containing. And then if you go to the isolated view of any movie, you can also see the fields that you created in their static models. And as you can see, some of our fields are just text areas. Some of our fields are actually buttons. So if you recall that in the static model, while you are defining a field, if you define the field type as a string, then Cardstack editor will automatically give you a text area. If you can also define them as dates or as Boolean variables, which we define for the playing, and that's the reason why the editor is returning a on or off button instead of text area here. There are a lot of Cardstack core types that you can find in our GitHub repositories. Now, this was the first step to display the editor. In order to actually edit the content, you also need to set some grants, both for the cards itself and then the application. So now, let's go back to our main page. And we are gonna go to the static model.js file of our movie card. And we are gonna comment out these sections, which are essentially giving grants for this tutorial purposes to everyone. But as we said, while you're actually working on a project for deployment, you can set the authentication yourself. One more thing, we are gonna go ahead and give grants through the application static model.js file itself. Here, we are gonna comment out these two lines and these two lines. Now, since you actually edited the static model.js file, you need to go ahead, stop the running application, and restart your app. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and refresh the page. Now we are gonna press on edit content again and activate the editor. Now, if you go ahead and click onto any list, you can actually go ahead and add some new movies to your list, or you can just go to any of the movies. You can start typing notes, or change the genre, or update the release date, or the synopsis. So let's talk about how the editor is actually some cool features of the Cardstack editor. The Cardstack editor is using a concept called reactive programming, which means that whatever data that you are going to change using the editor, you can instantly observe it on the screen. So for this tutorial purposes, we set the background color of each card according to their genre. So if we actually change the genre of Spider-Man, you can see that the color is changing as well. And then when you click on the save, go back to the main menu, you can also see that the color change in the embedded format as well. When you come back, you can see the color is still orange. Now let's add some notes. Now save it again. Yeah, as you can see, the notes are saved. Now playing the save. When you add this feature to your card, you give developers and non-developers alike a way to participate in creating new interactions and data. To learn more, try out our latest tutorial linked below. And thank you for watching.